Hello and welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're just doing a very excited unboxing. We have, I believe, the only production copy available at the moment. You see, when companies go through this printing process,
the manufacturing process,
the very last stage in that process is having an A/B quality checked finished product in front of you.
And it's beautiful.
And then they go through and they catch little mistakes. They catch where things like the plastic mold wasn't exact or the card had a misspelling or any of that final little stuff. And they hit the order button.
Yeah.
In Flyos Games, Vampire Chapters, it is currently in production and on the way to you. Which means this copy, that no longer needs to be A/B checked, has been sent our way. We are going to get a glorious opportunity to show you not a package sealed, nor package fresh copy, but a near finished copy of Vampire the Masquerade Chapters, and we get a chance to hold on to this game for long enough that West and I are going to do some gameplay.
I can't wait.
That we're going to possibly bring you a review.
Yep.
That we're going to maybe find the intricacies, the rules, the how to play, the nonsense that you want. So if you're watching this video,
Please.
and you want to see more content,
Yes, please.
on Vampire,
More.
Masquerade Chapters, I need you to do one very, very important thing. I need you to hit the subscribe button down below and let me know in the comment section what type of content you want to see, because trust me, there is an arsenal of stuff that we could do for this.
10-hour live playthrough.
Apparently,
Did that happen?
Apparently.
I coughed there for a minute.
We've asked for a 10-hour live playthrough. Now, just so you know, this is one of those things from shipping and traveling through Gen Con and all these others.
Yes.
We are aware of the box tear there. I'm going to put some tape on it. That is a thing that will be more highly addressed before you get your copy.
So for the record,
Yeah, give them context.
I, as a teenager in the late 90s, played...
When was that?
I don't know.
You were a teenager
It was a while ago.
At what point?
In the late 90s.
Okay.
I played Vampire Masquerade as a, the role-playing adventure. Played it many times. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of time I played this game, as well as Werewolf. Both of those were probably my two favorite, besides D&D that we played as a group. I cannot tell you, when Jesse told me that this was something that was coming in for us to play with, I was like, oh yeah, I played that in school, because I thought he was talking about the Duck DM, because I didn't even know such a board game existed. And when he said, no, the like board game, and I went, the what? And then I did a whole bunch of research to figure out what was going on and what I missed, and clearly, I'm so glad that we have this.
I mean,
I can't wait to play it.
6,000 of you know that the board game exists.
Yeah, but the other ones of us that are maybe a little bit not in the know at that point in our lives in 2020 didn't know.
Now, by the way, the chaos inside of this box, literally this was mailed to me.
Yeah.
And then I opened it. So a little bit of messy cards spread around. I'm just gonna say the post office probably did not always keep it flush against the couch shelf.
Did you ever see Ace Ventura, where he pretends to be the UPS guy? He drags the box across.
What do you remember from Vampire the Masquerade?
Okay, so I remember that everything you did had a blood cost.
Look at this.
So when you're nice. So when you were playing, if something didn't succeed, then there was a negative aspect, and then there are times where you could actually freak out, and that you would end up having to suffer some repercussions for your actions, because you would lash out and just randomly kill some poor survivor. Oh, see, these are really. That's a lot of people, isn't it?
It's a little bit of people.
That's a lot of people.
It's a little bit of people.
Wow.
Vampire the Masquerade Chapters is a game that I was able to play the prototype, and this is a game that does something that I have never seen another game do as intricately, as effectively, and it was the art of conversation in a board game. The art of being someone who does not always need to slaughter its prey, but instead discuss and politicize and navigate the world of Vampire the Masquerade.
In other words, not being a traveling hobo.
West.
Murder hobo.
Here's the thing that everyone who backed this campaign has, it's been hinted at,
Okay.
It's been talked about.
Okay.
It's part of the reason why this took literally blood to make happen.
Oh my. Okay.
West. This stack right here is the campaign archive.
What?
Every single one of these books is a scenario full of personal conversation, narrative choices, back and forth dialogue, discussions
What?
that lead through the campaign.
This is ridiculous.
I
so many books.
It is, I think it's like 500,000 words or something was written for this board game.
Wow.
And what happens here is as you start digging into this, West,
They're in color.
yes, look at this. Look.
What?
You start here. Dialogue with the various people you can talk to. Investigation in the location you're looking. Events that might trigger. When you go to dialogue, you flip it open to this location, and you've got like this person that we're talking with now. Now you start having a conversation back and forth with them, and based off of what you've just said to them, things change in the environment. They respond in different ways. It literally goes back and forth. Like you can literally sit here and almost role play a conversation.
That's amazing.
With the text in this book.
That's awesome.
Like, West,
That's so cool.
look at this.
That is an amazing amount of content. That's like 3 Stephen King novels.
It's not thick print either.
No.
This is like, if you printed this in a full-size book form.
How many pages is that?
So this one book alone is 117 individual pages.
Wow. That's nuts. That's a
Thousands.
ton of content.
100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, what, 6,000 pages?
Easily. That's insane.
Of narrative choice, of conversation, of dialogue,
That's
of
absolutely
flipping.
insane.
This is the thing. This is why I begged to get access to this game.
That's so much content.
Yes, Wes.
That's so much
Yes,
content.
Wes.
I'm like sitting here trying to like put my head
Yes,
around
Wes.
something because that has to be months worth solid of just playing every single day. Like even a 10-hour live stream is probably only going to get us through like half of a book.
No, we'll get through more than that.
You think?
We'll get through more than that. It's each book represents, I believe, a chapter. I think there's like 50 chapters.
Okay.
In the game, and each book represents one of those.
That's crazy.
But
That's
it is
so much content.
It is insane. I mean, look at the environments you get to play in. So these environments are going to be locations where you have events. You have like, I remember the prologue scenario I played. We popped into a location,
Okay.
and there was like some creatures over to the side that we could fight. There were some vagabonds. There was a girl we could talk to. There was a detective in the corner. And if you go talk to the detective, great. That narrative progresses in that way. You start making progress. If you go fight the people immediately, the whole environment changes, and you miss out on dialogue options and chances to interact with people, and like there's consequences.
So does that mean like in the game that I played when I was younger, there were situations where you could talk to people, but there were also situations where like as soon as someone saw you, they were just going to take you out.
100%.
Yeah.
And that has to do with the relationship or the favor you have with different factions. So like
That's
as
cool.
you're moving, this is a political game. Like this is a game about vampires are not just bloodthirsty creatures.
Right.
They have a semblance of authority that has to remain intact or else their whole society crumbles.
Exactly.
And your opinion in that, like you're like
That's so cool.
you're the dowel that could be kicked out.
That's so cool.
Like so much
That is
nonsense.
a lot of content.
I don't even know what's surrounding. These look like
Those are more books.
This is module little expansion books. I assume they have to be because they're all self-contained and wrapped up here.
That is
We're gonna have to sort and organize this.
crazy.
So we've got some minis here.
Okay.
As well. They look good. There's a lot of detail in these little things.
Do you think anyone has tasted these yet?
Don't do that. It's been all around game conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
Decent detail. Look at her glasses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They look nice.
Yeah.
So these are all the characters you can play.
And they're not all like really basic, boring poses
No.
either. So they've got some really unique style. I like that.
Okay.
Okay.
We've got a ton of tokens.
Okay.
Some nice dice.
Okay. Oh yes. So I was reading about these dice in that that Ankh is one success, but on your sheet everything that you have on these little underpieces here, these little check marks are also instant successes. So if you were to roll 2 dice or whatever, you'd have the instant 2 successes plus you'd get 1 more for that, and then nothing obviously for that.
There's a bit of control, like skill check control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you'll have...
That counts as doubles, but if you roll more skulls than you have ankhs, because you've used the blood points, then you have to do a blood check, right?
Something cool that you don't see in mass market sale.
Okay.
This took a lot of work to get, and you might undervalue how much work this took to find and manufacture.
A sand timer.
A black sand timer.
Okay. Nice.
They don't sell black sand. Like little single use sand timers like this. It's all filled to the brim with white sand. So the main Flyhouse Games went out of their way to make sure that they were able to like aesthetically provide the experience that they wanted.
That's really cool.
I think it's neat.
Yep.
What else? We have a ton of tokens. The tokens are going to be like all of the different events and things that you have. Nice cardboard. It looks like very, very well compressed cardboard. It's not overly thick though.
Sure.
But I think these will work great.
Nice little standee. Sure.
Yep, hex-based standee. I actually like that standee because it doesn't pinch. So it's not pinching the edge of my cardboard at all. It's beveled. It's beveled down.
Yeah.
So I can go in without a problem and then squeeze fit to the bottom.
Yep. That is very nice.
Yep.
I agree with you on that.
I appreciate that. I always hate cardboard mixed with like the white the clear plastic standees. Because you know what it always does?
Pinches and messes them up, and then it
ruins my board games.
The edges of the pieces.
Ruins
like
them.
that.
What are these things over here?
So these are expansion packs, apparently.
What do they have going on in here?
Don't know.
Expansion pack. Vampire the Masquerade Chapters expansion pack. Just another scenario.
And a new character.
Another scenario. More storybooks. More playable narrative.
It's crazy.
What are you talking about?
And this is yet another one. Another playable character.
I think Flyhouse Games might legitimately just be insane.
I've heard...
I love the full art hexes, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, this is underwritten. The full art scenarios, so like every scenario has its own full aesthetic scene, front and back on each one of these tiles.
It's beautiful.
Instead of doing like a generic hex-based system.
They did great. Grab tile 5.
It's great. What else do we need to look at? I mean, I can find some of the flavor text in here.
I think flavor text is important for sure. This is Quackalope, by the way.
I mean, that's what this entire game is.
So this is a giant storybook. So in addition to all of these pieces here, we have the giant storybook.
Here's the game
as well.
Set up and running.
Crazy. And so in this book, actually, now I just looked at it, there are, 7 different things they want you to run through at the beginning. 5.
They've got a prologue. So this is a game that teaches you how to play partially by playing through it. So all the stuff that you'll like experience and unlock comes through the first like 6 or 7 scenarios, which is something that you've seen in like Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion as well. A lot of Red Raven games have elements like that. So what do we want? Do we want some narrative flavor text? Do we want some what's the intro story flavor text? I've got what the Vampire the Masquerade is. I've got what chapters is. I've got characters.
Ooh.
I mean,
there's a lot in this one.
Consider this as well.
That's nuts.
This is another.
This is just the City of Saints.
This is another 200 pages of narrative that is adding to all of these
the stuff
books.
That's there. I don't read that much in general, so this is really exciting to see all this stuff.
The world of darkness looks just like our world, but in the shadows dwell ancient monstrous conspiracies. Undying creatures from the dawn of time manipulate the world, and their influence is felt everywhere. Mortals are ignorant victims of the pawns of the vast secret organizations ruled by supernatural beings. Vampires, among other creatures, struggle with internal factionalism. Unbeknownst to humans, these major feuds can sometimes last for centuries. Let's do this. Pick your character. And then let's establish who we're going to be playing, because we're going to have a gameplay coming.
100%.
So glance through this and figure out who you're actually going to dive into.
Oh, I already know.
Leave a comment down below, by the way, for who you think I should play.
I'm gonna be this guy. He looks like a lumberjack.
Yeah?
That's very
Find out who he
clearly-
is.
So his name is Thomas Chartrand. And I believe this takes place in Montreal, doesn't it? It was, yeah. Okay. So, as a teenager, Thomas was prone to getting himself into trouble with the law. Whether it was for picking fights or leading protests, it seems there was rarely a week going by without Thomas spending at least one night in the cell for his transgressions or something else. As he got older and some would argue wiser, he found his calling as a leader in the workforce. His pragmatic views and skills at mediating disputes between the unions and the management even led him to a seat at the Trade Union Center. While meeting with his co-conspirators from the FLQ militant separatist group, Thomas was lured out of the bar during a rather rowdy night and embraced. I like how they put that, embraced. He was embraced. To protect his new fledgling, his sire brought him far away from the then Sabbat-choked Montreal so that he could come to terms with his new unlife and his new position within a vastly different power structure of the Kindred. As a Kindred, he is now an anarch and despises all forms of abuse, namely those of the Chimera and the kind that he has seen from the Venturi, maybe. The Broha are instigators and founders of the Anarch movement. His years of negotiation came in handy upon his return to Montreal, where he now acts as the speaker for the new Anarch with the Chimera.
Nice. Tis the game. Tis the game. One of the games that I have been pining to get my hands on and to start diving into.
I like the concept of taking an old RPG that was near and dear to many, many people's hearts and really bringing it back in the form of a board game where you don't have to have a DM. You can still relive some of those awesome scenes and some of those amazing times. I'm really, really looking forward to being back in those days in the late 90s and having a really good time with my new friends who play board games. So I think it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. Let us know your thoughts. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to getting your hands on your own copy? I know they're currently going through the manufacturing process.
It's in according to the updates, they are currently being manufactured.
Yeah.
So I would say within what usually is 2.5 months, something like that, before
manufacturing to finish, and then they start
get it here.
cycling in the direction of the United States.
Yep.
So it's on the way. They've hit the print button.
And to say that through
awesome.
all the craziness of 2020 and being in the manufacturing situation with all the issues that can happen in shipping and stuff like that, I think they've led a really great communicative campaign too, from what I've read from people talking about how things have been going. So I think overall that's a pretty awesome thing to think.
Cool. Can't wait to dive in. We're going to get this organized. I'm going to figure out where all those cards are supposed to go. And then we're going to start working our way through this campaign and keep you all posted and updated and supported along the way.
Absolutely.
And if Flyos wants this game back,
they're going to take it from my cold, dead hands.
I'm so sorry, guys. I lost it.
It's definitely lost.
It didn't arrive, and I don't even think it arrived in the mail.
Yeah, this is not actually the...
Wow.
It just disappeared. So terrible. I don't know how it happened.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.